So how interesting is that that happened, and we're here and everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay, so let me paste and let's see. All right, so I sent the invite to other people. So thank you for that. So today, one of the themes that's showing up today for me is pausing and the power of pause. And Janine, I think that was something that you said earlier this morning. And and I notice my avoidance of pausing. And I think the avoidance of pausing for me, what also occurs for me is when I do pause, I get to see where I am. And sometimes that's a scary thing. Sometimes I want to avoid seeing where I am because I want to step over it. I want to avoid that there's something going on here. That, hey, Sammy, maybe you're not keeping your promises. That's one. Maybe you're not really happy with doing what you're doing. That's another, another one. I could count them. I could count them, but I'm not going to. But it takes courage to pause and take inventory and see, okay, where am I? And of course, in landmark distinction, that's the what so. The what so. We're not going to be able to get to there if we don't know exactly where we are here and now. So being able to see where we are, where we're sitting, how it smells to us, how it smells to other people is important. And sometimes the smell is bad. And sometimes we've gotten used to that smell because we keep going and going and going, or I keep going and going and going and doing and doing and doing. So I don't stop and notice, hey, you know what? It doesn't smell that good right now. something something needs to interrupt this pattern, right? So pausing is wonderful, and that's one of the things that we do in mindfulness meditations, the pause, and the power in the pause. All right, so it's 9:06. So I think it's safe to start the practice. And if anyone wants to come in, they're more than welcome to come in. So is there anything that anyone wants to share before we start? Is there anything in the space that's showing up?
I'm just ready to meditate.
Okay, gotcha, Steve. You're like, let's get on with this.
Well, one thing I would love to offer, at least what's showing up in my space, is how often, even when I pause from this morning when Peter was talking about it, I still don't lean into my practice of preparation, because what you have just said to me earlier, Sammy, about sending me that message, I realize so often I'm literally performing or I'm pausing. And my phone is actually one of the biggest areas where I can see for myself that if I were to see how often my life was shifting, I would be in full communication, not just in what's in person and not just what's happening inside of my person, but how people are communicating to me in a way that sometimes I almost tune out, unless I'm intentional about it. And that's the only thing that kind of opened up in my space, is being aware of that. David. Anyway, so thank you for asking that, because I think that's what's in my space of how often I'm in my performance and in my pausing, and what does it look like for Janine to step into preparing. Yeah, thank you for asking, Sammy.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Steve.
So Janine, the practice of preparation, you're saying that involves communication for you?
Well, yeah, I would say it includes a lot of communication for me in preparing for even today's like drive, and me and Beck and Daniel going to a hike afterwards, and then me coming to this movie theater. I kind of go with it, and I'm not fully prepared. And so then in the distinction that I have, I'm already always going where I'm supposed to be. And so I don't always notice when things are changing. I just assume they're going to be the way they are. And so, yeah, communication, whether it be virtually or vocally, it's something that just came up to my awareness.
Yeah. that feeling of change can kind of be perplexing and a little bit unsettling at times. But yeah, learning to go with the flow and communicating, all those things.
I might not add the unsettling. I'm recognizing how often when I'm in it, I don't notice. I guess that's the thing, is like going with the change, I don't notice a shift in my energy because I feel like I kind of just glided here. And then to realize on Sammy's part of saying like, oh, I'm locked out. Like I had no idea. Like it's like someone in a pool, maybe like send me a lifeboat, but I just think, oh, they're fun. They're just showing me how they're doing their jazz hands. Sammy was doing jazz hands. That's what I saw.
There was a part of me that knew you weren't reading my texts, but I didn't need you to read the text. I didn't. What I needed to do was acknowledge that I feel a little stuck. And you were the conduit. You were the clearing. So I said, all right, if anyone's going to be the clearing, it's going to be Janine. After all, it is, her space. So Janine, just in case, I'm going to declare that I might not lead tonight because this is what's going on. But as I'm saying that, I'm saying, it's clearing up. I'm letting it go. I'm letting go of the attachment. It's going to happen, but it's kind of fun to say, hey, I'm taking responsibility for where I am right now. I'm pausing and noticing. Let me be in communication. Let me let me be powerful about what's going on. Let me get into the state of, okay, this is where I am. There are possibilities available. Let me have the faith that by saying, hey, this might not happen, that you know what? It's definitely going to happen. So that's what I did. After I texted you, I'm like, it's going to happen. And then I'm like, wait a minute. It's going to happen. It happened. And a couple of minutes later, it happened. Here we are. David, thank you for listening to all that. I think it's a great start. I think it's a great foundation to start a meditation. So is there anything else that anyone wants to share before we begin the practice? David says fire. Thank you, David. Beautiful. I love it. Okay. So so let's begin the practice. All right. So this meditation is going to be on noticing our needs and embracing the idea of the power of pause, and also that we are complete the way we are. So we may have needs, but we also have noticed that even with those needs, we are complete. Interesting, right? So let's find a comfortable and quiet space in our seat. Let's relax. Whatever position that you feel comfortable in, you could sit, you could lie down, relax the shoulders, relax the body. And let's begin by starting to take a few deep breaths and being present to where we are. Inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our mouth with the intention of settling into the present. And with each exhale, release any tension that we're holding on to in any muscle, any area of the body. Giving yourself permission to truly arrive to this place, to this moment, to this time. Welcoming yourself, welcoming each of us, welcoming whatever occurs during this meditation. And now, take one nice deep breath in and exhale, relaxing exhale out. And in this space, relaxed space, we're going to bring our focus or attention to our body. We're going to start with the top of our head. And we're going to slowly scan with our intention, our loving intention, down our body, slowly giving loving kindness, healing energy to any area of the body as you scan from your head down to your toes, breathing into any space that's calling for healing. Noticing any sensations of tension. You're welcome to spend some time scanning in a specific particular area. Whether it's your face, your neck, your shoulders, your back. If you encounter any tightness, just notice, simply observe without judgment. It's just the way your body communicates to you that it needs some loving attention. Give me some love. That's what my neck is saying now. And my shoulders, my back. Sending it love, healing energy, attention that it's asking for. Just spend a moment doing this, sending healing energy through areas of our body that's calling for it. Thanking your body, thanking specific areas of your body if you want to. It's up to you. Thank you, back. Thank you, legs. Thank you, eyes. Thank you, lungs. Thank you, heart. As we're thanking our body, we're going to shift our focus gradually and gently to our breath and noticing the connection that our breath has to every area of our body, every cell. The oxygen the breathing provides, the nourishment, the life. With every breath, there is life. With every breath, there is a thank you. There's a receiving. And noticing the gratitude that's starting to build with every thank you. This is pausing. This is the power of pause. No surprise that gratitude comes along with it. No surprise at all. If you're noticing any thoughts, welcome them without judgment. They're there for a reason, communicating to you. They want your attention. You can also breathe into your thoughts, just like you breathe into your body, breathing into your lungs, breathing into your heart. Breathe into your thoughts, thanking them. Thank you. Thank you. Notice that with every thank you, your mind is healing, your body is healing, your heart is healing. And I welcome you to ask the question, what do I need right now? What do I really need right now? Do I really need anything right now? Do I have everything I need? Is it possible that I am complete, whole, and perfect? That all my real needs are already met? It's all perfect. Noticing if there's any gratitude that you feel for all your needs being met at this moment. Saying thank you to your breath. Thank you to the space. Thank you to Janine, to Zoom, your phone, the computer, the internet, all of it. Thank you. Thank you. Noticing the abundance around us. So much abundance. What do we really need? Don't we have everything? Recognizing that you have everything that you need right now to thrive in this very moment. Saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we gradually bring this meditation to a close, we're going to take a few deep breaths, holding awareness of our completeness and that all our needs are being met. Having the sense of wholeness, it's always in us. We're whole, perfect, and complete right now and afterwards and forever. And so it is. We are whole, perfect, and complete. Noticing we can be in that space at any time we wish by saying, I am whole, perfect, and complete. Don't forget to breathe. So whenever you're ready, slowly and gently, take your time. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, smile a little, wiggle your eyebrows up and down. Slowly and gradually, come back to being perfect, whole, and complete. If you haven't done so, you can gently open your eyes and notice the abundance all around us. So happy. So happy, yo, Janine. I love this. I love this. Thank you.
I do too.
Who's that?
This is
Josine?
Josine. Yeah, I came in late and I'm driving, and I was like,
You're never.
okay, I'm just gonna be in a meditative state, and just your voice and your demeanor and your love and your connection and everything just so settled me. And then to have us open our eyes to the abundance around us, and I had this I just kept hitting. It's like, what? And one was I drove out of my way. I have a car, I was carjacked, so I don't have a car, and I have a car today. And I drove out of my way to this store because I had this coupon. It was today only. And I get there, and because of the heat wave in the Twin Cities, it was closed. And I'm like, oh my goodness. That's what I said. And as I said it, I went, oh my goodness, what a weird thing to say. But that's what people say, oh my goodness, which means, oh my goodness, there's a reason why it was closed. I needed to get somewhere early. So I went to my next place, and the person was late who was supposed to meet me there. But I was early, so I got all this time, and I used it luxuriously, even though I was kind of like, oh, they decided to be with this person and that person instead of me. A little bit of that was coming up, but I had this time. And then the third thing that happened was I got this call, and I can't tell you about the call because we're recording. But it was this person trying to really put me in a corner and say I was something I'm not. And it's someone I love dearly. And luckily I had all that other time to myself to luxuriate and stuff, that it just put me in a really good place. So everything that happened to me was exactly what needed to happen for me to be in a better place for that call. Isn't that wild? Because if I would have gone to the store, I would have been probably busy shopping and late for the other thing. And I mean, it just was amazing. And it was, oh my goodness, it all was for my goodness. And then I got to be here with you guys. Yay.
So good. Sammy, I think you were muted. You were saying something now.
I am. I don't need to have my microphone on to have a conversation with Josine. That's what I've noticed, because I said, "Oh my goodness," and she's talking to me, and I was on mute. But maybe she was reading my lips. But no, she's reading me. It's so amazing. Yes, it's all for your goodness. Exactly. It's, oh my God.
And we actually say that term, and it's like, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Some ancient somebody thought of, let's put a blessing on this, and every time something happens, just say, oh my goodness. And we've turned it into a, oh my goodness, a bad thing, but it's really,
yeah.
oh my goodness.
I love it.
I know, it was a great discovery.
Isn't that a better way of declaring a breakdown, right, Janine? Be like, oh my goodness, my tire blew. Oh my goodness. I got a text from my ex. Oh my goodness.
It's all for the greater good. Yay.
Yeah. Oh my God, I lost my keys today, Josine, and I'm like, oh my goodness, And I texted Janine. I was talking about it earlier. I texted Janine. Janine wasn't receiving the text. I know she wasn't reading the text. I know that. But I did it anyway because I needed the clearing, just by seeing her name on my phone, Janine Ayana Watkins, also known as Cassiopeia, by the way. I have this nickname for her in my mind. Whenever I see her, I go, oh, Cassiopeia. I love it. I love it, Josine. Yeah. It's all for our goodness. I'm so grateful that you're here. And
me too.
Yeah, I am. And I want to learn more about that conversation, because I think there's something there for me as well. And I know there is, because I heard you say it and something happened in me. So we could talk about that later when we're not recording. But I love that you were able to be with it, and that's a powerful thing. Being able to be with conversations and knowing that we're going to be safe. We're going to be safe. Like we could hear whatever needs to be, whatever the other person wants to say to us. We could be that space for them, even if it's as Chrissy from the EPA, that gave she gave a wonderful talk on nonviolent communication to my divorce support group. She says, even when they're coming in hot, and I love that. Even when they're coming in hot, we can still be there, acknowledging what the words that are being said. So you know what? I hear you. I hear you. This is what I'm hearing, and that in itself is a gift to them. And they're and they're like, yeah, you do hear me. Why am I so angry?
Well, and dig this. What happened too was they called back a second time. At first they called just to apologize, and then they called back and did the more of the accusation.
Okay.
And decided who I was or whatever. And I was in a locker room by that time, because the friend I was meeting was treating me to going in a pool on this hot day. So I was like, people were around me, and I had to be strong and say, this isn't a good place or time. And they're saying, okay, well, if that's your priority, like, you don't care about me, is what they were coming in hot, like, even to use that on me. And I was like, I want to talk about this. I really want to listen, and I want to be fully attentive. And this isn't the place where I can be. There's people around me. I'm half naked. It's just not a good place. So yeah, and we'll see what comes of that. But that's what I could offer.
Oh my God.
And
What
it was
occurred to
good self-care too, because I
yes.
would have gotten more riled up standing, half naked with everyone listening in. It just wouldn't have felt right. It wasn't right. It just wasn't right. So I blessed it with another time. I did a quantum leap.
And they say you can't go back in time, but let me let me be the devil's, not the devil's advocate. Well, the devil's advocate, whatever. Let me be the devil's advocate. So they say you can't go back in time, right? And they say the past, right? What if though, and this is from the Buddha of managing your business and your life, right? This is from the diamond cutter. What if the seeds that I've planted in my mind of the experience that I've just had, right? So it's there in my mind and it has meaning. It's there in my body. It's there in every cell in my body and it has meaning. What if I pause and I could close my eyes, or I could remember the experience, go back into the experience and experience it again, but this time experiencing it from a different vantage point. Maybe even, Josine, turn the other cheek and see it from a different angle, and seeing that maybe there's something that I've missed. Maybe there's a message there in that experience that is valuable to me. Maybe if I stay with that just a little more, maybe there's some diamonds that are going to come out of that poop, you know?
Oh
And
yeah, this is going to be good stuff. I know that.
yeah, exactly. It
Oh,
is.
I already know that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the most
Yeah.
horrendous conversation you would ever want to have, and it's going to only lead to a huge miracle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I tell you what it is, you'll flip.
I love it. I love the breakthrough that's bound to happen, that's bound to grow from this, the miracle that's bound to grow from this experience. And you know what? We're experiencing it too. So you're not the only one that's planting seeds in this. Like, we're actually implanting this into our own mind, experiencing what you're telling us. So we're getting the benefit out of it also. It's, what is it called? When someone smokes and the other person gets it, the inhales it. What is it?
Secondhand smoke.
Yeah, we're getting secondhand,
Insight.
yeah, secondhand insight.
Yeah, I want to hear from Steve. He hasn't said anything. What's up?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to go on mute right now.
I want to suggest a title for a workshop: The Possibilities of Poop. Like, where's the goodness here? It's there. It's there.
The power of poop.
Ooh, poop power.
No, the power.
Poopy power. Poopy power.
Oh my goodness. We're going to be
Savvy.
millionaires.
The reason I was a little impatient to get going is because last time I had such a wonderful experience of just getting to peace and gratitude and love. And I said, I want to have that again. And it's like, you not only pulled it off, you pulled it off in spades. It's like, whoa, this is really good. And it's like, just the meditation you are bringing me through, going through the parts of my body. And I started thinking of all the parts of my body where there's something wrong, my vision, lymph glands, heart, and my intestines, and my prostate. And it's like, man, that's just, but they're all working, right? They're all functional. I run around today like I was in my 50s instead of my 70s. So it's like, oh yeah, this is actually all pretty good. And then just feeling like the freedom is like, is that stress is going out when you're kind of focused on the negative, oh, what's going to happen. No, it's like, but the possibility of just being in that energetic frequency of love, where it's like, yeah, it's like, and gratitude. I mean, that was so big today, Sarah. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and thank you. It's it's us, you know. It's your listening, it's your providing space, it's your being personification of love, you know, that brings it out of me, that allows me to share. So I got to give you all credit too. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the reality of it. You know, when I'm
It's,
doing this, I'm feeling the connection. Go ahead, Steve.
yeah, community effort. Yeah, that's the we are made to function in harmony and love. We
We've
do it's
we've developed that, haven't we, Janine? Like this group. I mean, you know, the linkage is pretty darn strong here. It's it's pretty darn strong. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
Well, to honor that space that Sammy, like again, Steve, you said it beautifully because like as I was like kind of sitting in my body, like and you're like do the scan, like I kept feeling it in my neck and you're like, and continue to be wherever you're. I'm like, okay, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then like as you were like going through, like even when I got to my shoulders, I'm like, okay, like this is where I hold a lot of the community. This is where I hold a lot of the communication. And then when you had us go internal and you're talking about our lungs, I'm like, oh, and this is how we speak to our community. This is how we breathe to our community. And it's just Sammy, like literally, if like your voice was hands, you just massaged every part of my spiritual body as much as my physical, my emotional, and my mental. So, like, again, from this morning, sitting in my intentionality of being spiritual, like, thank you. Like, I feel like so like relieved, like Steve's saying, like 70 going on 50. Like, I just feel like so newly seen in my acceptance, like you were saying too, like acceptance in all of my emotions. And today was another, like these last few days have just really opened my eyes how often I am flexible, even though I might still have resistance. And so all that resistance, you needed it all. And it just feels so released right now. So thank you for creating tonight's space that we all hold together and you were the voice of. I'm so grateful for you, Brother Sammy.
Thank you, Janine. I love you, sister. You know, yeah. And David, I love you, brother. And I know you're there. Um, and I see the hearts and I see the fire and now I see your face. that was that was my underlying way of getting him to put on his camera. You know. Yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. David, is there anything that's showing up for you? Is there anything that you'd like? And you're more than welcome to say whatever, anything. We're listening. We're here.
All right. Well, so my whole day has been very full. I had some Dean Graziosi stuff, and then I did more into my Launchpad courses. And right after my Launchpad course, I actually had a chance to talk with a couple others from our group, Anne and Laura, and we actually got into a conversation for about an hour and a half as I was sitting at the gym because I was about to go to the gym. So I thought maybe we're going to have like a brief conversation and then I was going to go do that. But nope, that was a pretty very in-depth conversation that I guess I did find some insights, and a lot of it comes back to responsibility for um, the only person who can take the action, becomes yourself. Um, but right after that, during that, Janine texted me, so I didn't get to reply to her at that point. Um, but I enjoyed her texting me, and then so I went into the gym. But as I was going into the gym, in between this conversation, I started explaining um, what I had talked about to somebody, and that led into kind of more of like a conflict in communication because I really have a struggle of feeling a connection when texting somebody, and I don't like, but the other person feels that that texting is fine, or they can read text fine and we can communicate that way properly. But I don't feel that. And then instead of going from a meeting where I felt I got a bunch of value and then like moving forward, it felt like, oh, I felt up and then it was like, well, right back down because I'm not meeting someone's expectations, or from a previous conversation, I guess, just like my relationship has very weird. I don't know if I'm getting a dissolution or divorce or what, but it's kind of like it has to do with that, and then something I did with my Facebook and some people that I followed because something about their videos resonated with me, and I don't know. So I just, when I was listening to this meditation, I was just finishing up at the gym because it was like, man, I was like, I don't want to miss this, but I gotta finish my gym. So I put you on, and then I left. I don't know, so much. Felt like it felt like I had some ups today, and then I don't know. I don't want to focus too much on the down, and I know communication is such a huge thing that I'm working to improve, and not not just beating myself up for someone else's lack of understanding like my intentions. Like I know my intentions, and I know that I'm not trying to cause harm, and yeah, I really I loved your meditation because I use the balance app, and I know this guy, the guy I listen to on his voice, his name's Ofasu, and I was thinking, I'm like, man, when you're doing the when you were doing the body scan, I was thinking of it just like that, and I was like, man, you need to be the third voice because I need to hear Sammy telling me all these stories because I just I really I really enjoyed that. And you know, you can never get too much meditation, and you know that it just meant it means a lot to hear and to be a part of a group like this.
Thank you, David. Thank you. And
Well,
yeah, and it means a lot for you to be here as well. And what you said means a lot to me. I got the acknowledgement, you know, I got your acknowledgement of us. I got your acknowledgement of yourself. Um, I also got that you're going through something in your relationship, and we're here for you. We're here for you throughout the journey. You better show up because Janine's going to text you, and if she doesn't, I will, or we both will at the same time. And you went to the gym, right? So let me see your biceps because
It's
I went to
just
the gym too.
it's, I heard
Look
I'm
at
not
that right
into
there.
that. I'm not into that yet. Not that that'll be the next step.
Going to the gym is one of my therapies. It's an antidepressant for me. It's also meditative. Um, when I'm feeling down, when I'm in physical pain and I go to the gym, afterwards I feel amazing. And it's a reminder that the mind is connected to the body, you know. And when I get the body moving, the mind wakes up. And it's like there's a smile on my face when I go to gym. I'm like, yeah, oh, yes. If I could do this, I could do anything, kind of thing. So, yeah, acknowledge you for that. So Janine's hopping off camera. Beautiful. Again, David, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for listening.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. Beautiful.
and the thing that comes up for me and different people I've interacted with today, and this thing is when we take it personally, like others' reactions and their expectations and their judgments and all that, it's like it just brings us down. And it's not so much about us, this is about them, their state of mind, you know, what they're expecting of you. and then not being able to show up in a space of love when their expectations aren't met, but maybe trying to exert a little control or try to show their disappointment to make you feel small because you didn't measure up or whatever it is. It's just, that's all ego, their ego, you know. So don't take it personally. I mean, I see you as a man who's trying to grow and striving in the area of growth, but it's like, wow, maybe that's making some people uncomfortable. I don't know. Because it's just, they're not used to that. It's kind of scary. Guy wanting to prove himself. Wow. Maybe you're exceeding their old understandings and perceptions. It's not working for it. Whatever it is, I don't know, but not taking it personally. It's usually about their state of mind more than our state of mind. And if it's a result of our state of mind, then all we can do is say, I'm sorry, forgive me. I realize I was causing you pain or whatever by what I did. And I wish I hadn't done that. Forgive me. That's their choice, yes or no. But yeah, beautiful stuff. So thank you for sharing and being vulnerable.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you, Janine.
Thank you, everyone. Before we conclude today's wonderful session meeting, sending love to Josine. I know she's not here, but I'm so happy that she showed up. Magical Josine, you know, she's just beautiful in so many ways. Is there anything else that anyone wants to share before we conclude tonight's session and get some well-needed rest and well-deserved rest and the gift of rest that we're going to give ourselves?
Well, as you led tonight, Sammy, I am grateful that this meditation has me conclude that even if communication feels like it's not always done the way we want it to show up, that we're held and we are supported in all the ways that need to come up for us to continue to be on this path to become the best versions. And thank you again for reminding me of that in these moments we had this evening.
Yeah, I hope I can do this briefly, but the word perfect for me, it has like, it's a condemning sort of thing in my past where it's like, I have to be perfect. And if I'm not perfect, oh, shame on me. But I had an insight a few years back where it's like the word perfect, and like when Jesus used the word perfect about being perfect like your Father in heaven, and he gives rain to everyone and he gives his blessings to everyone. So we're supposed to be kind of the same way and not judge them and not love them or justify not loving them. But the word actually it means be at the level of maturity that you can be at and manifest love as you are able at that point, you know, in your growth process, and then be growing in that. So instead of being perfect without fault and without flaw, and which none of us are, obviously, because we're human, it's more of I have the intention to grow. I'm making growth choices and I can see progress. And it's like when it comes to becoming a more loving person for myself and others, it's like, yeah, I'm in that process. And that is perfection. You know, that's ongoing maturity. And for me, that was a liberating view of perfection, because it's like, yeah, I am becoming the best version of myself. And because I'm in that growth process, I am the best version of myself, but that I can become even better. So then I'll really be the best version of myself. But when you get in, yeah, it's a path, it's practice. And it's satisfying, gratifying. And I'm grateful just for consciousness itself. That's the thing I was getting, Sammy. Just you're talking gratitude. I got just back to consciousness. I am a conscious being who has the power to make choices. And whenever I choose love, I'm resonating with the frequency of God, manifesting God, love. And that's a powerful thing to do, I think. So now I'm complete in my sharing.
So powerful. Thank you, Steve. There's a lot showing up for me here, but I don't want to spend another hour. But I could easily do it. I do want to spend another hour, but I choose not to.
So we all do need to get to bed, get our rest.
Yes. So what you said was amazing, and there's a lot of things showing up for me. One of them is when you said I'm grateful for consciousness. What showed up was let there be light. Let there be light,
Yeah.
you know, and boom, consciousness. You know, yeah.
And that too is an act of love. It's like it's just love make the universe go around. And the opportunity to grow. Yeah. You go really deep here, but like you say,
It's a love fest, you know. Yeah. Okay, so with those wonderful, loving words, Steve and Janine and David, thank you so much for all of us holding this space. And with that in mind, who among us will commit to be in the space of loving community, connection, and meditation, whether in physical, spirit, or mind, in the next 12 hours? Beautiful. Gorgeous. And
thank
with
you, Sam.
that, you're very welcome. Thank you. And with that, I bid everyone a wonderful, loving, blessed night. Kisses. Hugs.
Everyone.
Bye. Have a great night. Bye.